It's CCSD Today, your insider's guide to the Charleston County School District. This week, we visit the schools of District 9. Hear our exclusive interview with St. John's Principal Steve Larson. Then, we head out to Hod Gap Middle to learn about construction of an outdoor classroom. CCSD Today starts right now.
Hello everybody and welcome to the newest installment of CCSD Today. I'm Andy Pruitt, Director of Communications and Technology with Charleston County School District, and I'll be serving as one of the hosts of the show from now on. We're here at St. John's High School, plenty to talk about on District 9, including the new principal, Steve Larson, and we'll hear from him when we come back. You're watching CCSD Today.
The law firm of Young Clement Rivers has been serving the Charleston Low Country since 1968. All of the lawyers of Young Clement Rivers are proud to be partners with the Charleston County School District. We're convinced that the hard work of the school district employees and staff prepares our young people to face the challenges of the future. We look forward to continuing our partnership and in helping the school district to meet its standard of excellence.
And welcome back. As I said, we are joined by the new principal here at St. John's High School, Steve Larson. Steve, good to be out here.
Thank you so much.
First of all, I think it's good for people outside of District 9 and the St. John's High School community to kind of get to know a little bit more about you. You've been with the district for a few months before you took this position, but where were you before this?
So before here, welcome to St. John's.
Thanks, man.
By the way,
Appreciate it.
Andy. We love having you here. We love showing off what we have accomplished in this school over the years. I only joined about 3 weeks ago. Like you said, I've been in the district since about the beginning of December, which gave me a great way to find out what South Carolina's like, what Charleston's like, because I'm from Oregon. I was a principal, a director, an assistant superintendent in Oregon. Decided that what I really want to do is work with schools directly, be in schools, and so I decided to jump back over to the East Coast and work a little bit in South Florida. Was really interested in what was going on here in Charleston, and so I looked it up, thought I want to be a part of that team.
You've been in education for about 2 decades, a little more than 2 decades. What have you learned? You're always learning in education, right? What are you learning and what have you learned that has allowed you to stay in the business for this amount of time, keep you in the business for this amount of time, and where do you see the knowledge that you've accrued and your approach taking you as you're here at St. John's?
So I was, I think, very fortunate. At a young age, I was given a chance to run a school. About 28 years old, I was an elementary school principal. And it was a school that in Oregon that was persistently low performing. It was a bilingual school. And what I learned was it's not so much what you know technically, although you need to know how to run a school, how to be a principal, but it's more about how you connect people within the school to do great work, to do unprecedented work. So over the 20 years from that point, that's what the skill I've honed, and I'm most excited to share with this school district is let's pull together and let's figure this out. It's not unprecedented. Student achievement is not unprecedented, particularly in any high poverty school. We know how to get it done, so let's get it done.
Well, again, you've been in education for over 20 years. You were out on the West Coast. You were down in Florida. So you've seen the broad spectrum of this country and education in this country. What specifically drew you to Charleston, South Carolina?
So having, now I'm not old by any means, but I have 3 kids, amazing children. They've moved multiple times with me. They're great sports. But the thing I've learned over the years is I want to be in a place that is comfortable, I'm surrounded by kind, caring people who want to do good work for communities. It didn't take long after the conversations I had with Bill Brigman, Dr. Postlewaite, Terry Nichols. This is the place where I want to raise my family. This is a place where I think I can stay for a long, long time and do really important work. The decision was easy. The nice thing, having been in a lot of different places, is when you've hit the jackpot.
Well, we're glad to have you here. And coming up after this break, we're going to talk more with Principal Larson and kind of his vision for St. John's High School and for the rest of District 9. We'll be right back.
I did not choose teaching so much as I think teaching chose me. I love it. I don't consider it so much a job as I do a passion. One of the most important things is getting to know the kids so I can be a better teacher and I can help them feel successful and I can help them feel confident in just being who they are, accepting who they are, accepting and celebrating their differences. It's been an amazing environment, a great community. I couldn't be more proud representing Charleston County.
Kids learn it at their own pace, to remediate on their own, see their own results, celebrate their successes right there.
I think it's easier for me to do things like online, like it captures my attention better than like doing it in books.
It's just made it easy. It is. It's made it easy, and the kids like it.
There are a lot of pictures. Sometimes it can be really funny, and some stories are make-believe.
I would never have believed that we would be a school that would be fully, implementing technology in every classroom. So we did it, and it's due to McGraw-Hill.
And welcome back to CCSD Today. I'm Andy Pruitt, again joined by the new principal here at St. John's High School, Steve Larson. Steve, we spoke about your background in the previous segment, but you're here to do a job, here to work here at St. John's High School. What have you learned so far in your first few weeks on the job about what it means to be an Islander?
Well, I think that's just it. It's there is a sense of pride and a sense of ownership about being an Islander. And I've been here for 3 weeks, one of which was spring break, but thinking about this work the whole time, I have been overwhelmed by the amount of people that want a stake in this, that have a stake in this, and they want to be a part of a positive change. One of the challenges in change is that you want to make sure that you're not letting go of what made you amazing in the first place. What are the rituals and traditions and the things that we care most about from our high school? And how do we make sure those don't change as we grow? The easy part is a lot of great work was done. We have one of the best teaching staffs I've ever seen. They're dedicated, they coach multiple sports, they teach full schedules. Many of them are teaching dual credit with Trident. These are incredible people. Adding to that are the children that we have. I can barely call them children anymore, but because they're bigger than I am, but they are so hardworking and respectful and caring individuals. In fact, I just took 4 with me down to the middle school to show the middle schoolers that this is the place to be, and they did a great job.
You want to make St. John's High School the focal point of this community. You're starting to take those steps, but can you kind of elaborate about what it's going to take so that, from the elementary schools, Frierson, Mount Zion, and Angel Oak, to the middle school at Hot Gap, to here, that it's always going to be looking at St. John's? Yeah, it has to be, and that from the moment I'm kind of built that way anyway. I see my work as always part of a movement that let's do something that no one else has done, whether it's been done or not. That excites me. That's what I want to be a part of. We need to do that for Johns and Wadmalaw Island. We have 5 schools. 3 elementary schools feed into 1 middle school that feed into St. John's. A lot of our students don't stay through that pipeline. We lose hundreds through the pipeline. We can change that if we create a movement around what makes our school great. If the football games on Fridays are the place to be for everyone. If farmers market shows up, we have food trucks on Tuesday nights.
that it means something to carry, to wear the pin from our school. Along with that is a significant increase in student achievement. We can have all of the fun and excitement that we should in a high school, but it means way more if we can say we have the most students graduating from high school each year, that we have the highest percentage of students taking dual credit coursework, that our students are out in the field doing internships with our many businesses, local businesses, but also international businesses. Those are some of the targets that we need to hit over the next few years. The only way we can accomplish that, however, is if we start thinking about the 3-year-old all the way up to the 18, 19-year-old. And that's going to mean the leaders in the schools, the 5 principals, that our arms are locked and that we see every child in our region as our kids. And we can pull this off. We need to talk more. We need to identify the exact students who need additional time and support, and then accelerate the students that we know are running in front of us. Until we understand exactly what the problems are that impact student achievement, we won't be able to solve that problem.
What are some of the programs that you've seen here in place here at St. John's High School that stand out to you? And what are some of the things that you maybe hope to add here at St. John's in the coming years?
I wish I could take credit for some of the stuff that's gone on here, but I can't. So, but I can admire what others have done. Our culinary program is about to take off. We've got a brand new culinary kitchen that doors are to be unlocked here any day. We've got a computer science program where kids are building their own apps, doing amazing things. I don't even understand what they're doing, which I think is super impressive. We have a well-known art teacher, Donna Dowling, who's taking our students beyond where they ever thought they could do with their art. Hospitality and tourism, marketing, business, the partnerships that we have with our Chamber of Commerce, very, very tight. In the future, where we need to take this is we need to prop up some programs to see where our kids' interests are. Our enrollment is a little bit down, so what is it going to take to get kids enrolled in our school? Is it health and human services? Do they want to become nurses? Is it a strong, vibrant ROTC program? Do we need to look at exercise science? We're also taking a look at graphic design, moving the interests that we already know we have in art, building it, taking it into the computers and seeing what we can accomplish there. Our partnerships can also help drive new programming. Kiowa, Seabrook, local businesses, just ordinary people that come into the school. We can build programs around those interests. In fact, I just met with Our Lady of Mercy, who they do amazing work on behalf of our community. We can network and connect with them so I can finish their sentences and they can finish mine. The potential is just huge, and in 3 weeks, it's overwhelming because we do have to become coordinated. But as long as we have a little bit of time and some good plans to implement and watch the plan, I think we can pull it off.
And there's going to be more opportunities that the district is going to be behind and support. One of them is happening at Angel Oak, bringing on a preschool.
Well, that's part of the effort, is to say, can we catch them earlier? Can we get our students new to the island, but also students that are currently living here, can we get them in an educational program earlier? The earlier the better. We can increase the volume of instruction. If we can capture them over the summer through summer camps and programs like that, through partnership, we know that we're going to have stronger, happier children, and the parents are going to love that.
Well, Stephen, we really appreciate your time. We're going to go, after this break, to one of the schools that's really working hard to make sure they're sending students that are ready here for St. John's, and that'll be with Travis Benatindo at Hot Gap. Steve, thank you very much for your time.
My pleasure. Hey, you're welcome anytime.
All right. We'll be right back after this break.
Kiowa Cares represents a really unique way and an organized way for folks who live here on Kiowa to connect, partner, and help those who live in our neighborhood, which includes Johns and Wabula Island.
And the idea was that many, many people who live on Kiowa very generously work as individuals in the community. But we felt as a community association, we needed to do more in a unified way to be good neighbors. And out of that came the idea of Kiowa Cares.
They brought volunteers, but most of all, they brought love. They showed love and they said, we want to be a good neighbor, and they have been a good neighbor to me and to this community.
Kiowa Cares quickly jumped on board and was really excited about the idea of supporting the local farmers and supporting the Johns Island community as well.
We're excited about the partnership, and we are in constant communication, updating them on things that we are working on, areas where I continue to see improvement, I share with them, and so it's like we are in tune, working together, one common goal, and it's all beginning to come together.
What it means to me to be a part of Kiowa Cares is I'm able to do things I wouldn't normally have done on my own. I get the sense of community when I work with them.
We're trying to put good people in touch with organizations that could use their help.
And welcome back. We are now here outside of Hot Gap Middle School, and I'm joined by the principal of Hot Gap, Travis Benatendo. Travis has been the principal here for 5 years now. Now, you don't really see much of Hot Gap behind us. You see something else behind us, construction of something very special for your school. Travis, can you kind of explain what the project is here and when you hope it's completed by?
Yes, well, our outdoor classroom is now under construction, and it's been a long road to get here, but we're really excited. We have multiple donations from various donors that had made this possible. And I just want to thank Kiowa Partners and Kiowa Resort for allowing us this opportunity. They were one of our biggest donors. And the reason for our outdoor classroom is to partner with Clemson Extension to run a curriculum of agriculture so we become GAP certified to then sell our crops at a farmer's market. So we want an outdoor classroom not only for the agricultural piece, which is big on Johns Island, but we also want to use that as a center for reading, science experiments. So any type of curriculum which we utilize in the classroom, we want to bring it outside, give the kids like a mini field trip without going anywhere. And by doing that, we can make things more tangible to them, whether it's in science experiments, whether we're walking across the street to the Angel Oak, to the up-and-coming educational center that they're going to have there as well. So it just gives an opportunity for students to enter a different environment, which can be very conducive to learning.
I think a lot of people do think about agriculture when they think about the schools out here in District 9 on Johns Island, but when it comes to Hot Gap, you guys have kind of made a name for yourselves with the steel drums that you have here, but your music program is more than steel drums, right?
Yes, we're really proud of our steel drums program because it's so easy for students to come in as a whole class and learn and become a band. And not only a band, but a band for hire. But in addition to that, we have a guitar club, we have a beautiful strings program, which allows our cello players, our violin players, to really prepare themselves musically, so then they're better prepared to enter into the high school band at St. John's. So we want to be a farm team cultivating those musical skills, not just with drums, but with all the other instruments that come along with it, to get kids prepared. So as our program grows, it helps St. John's program grow as well.
You mentioned the connection to St. John's High School. They have a new principal there, Stephen Larson.
Yes.
You guys have already started to build that relationship. And that's an important relationship for the middle school here on District 9, to have a solid relationship with the high school. But the relationship is throughout the entire district. It's
Yes.
important for the 3 elementary schools to have a nice feeder pattern system up to you, for you then to go into St. John's. How has that relationship been developing, both with Principal Larson as well as the 3 principals at Angel Oak, Frierson, and Mount Zion?
Well, at St. John's, the principal is new. And we wanted to make sure that the community knows, the students know, the teachers know that they made an excellent choice. And I know that Mr. Larson has a reputation of success, and I know that he is going to be a contributor to what we've already started here in D9. A couple years ago, all the principals on the island gathered monthly for either a dinner or a breakfast at each other's schools to articulate our needs of the students, as well as the building needs. So over the past couple of years, we've cultivated an environment of connectedness with the elementary schools to the middle school and to the high school. So we've been meeting with the new principal to bring him into the fold, explain all the things that we've been working on, and then working on how he can contribute to that as well, and then what we can do for St. John's. We're all one big family here in D9. The elementary schools kids end up at the high school. So even though they pass through here, we're not finished with them when they're done here at Hawk Gap, and we're not finished. I know the principals at the elementary schools aren't finished with those kids when they pass through as well. So it's very important for us to have a comprehensive K-12 program on D9 where students are getting the best education in CCSD.
You mentioned a couple questions ago, a couple answers ago about how the opportunities with your music here are helping them get ready for St. John's, but obviously it's so much more than that as far as what you're trying to do here. Your goal is to make sure these students are high school ready.
Yes, my main goal is to make sure that all of my students are prepared for 9th grade. So it's imperative that I meet with the high school to understand what the expectations are there, especially in 9th grade, whether it's through literacy or math or the other curriculum, to ensure that what we're doing here is a direct connectedness to what they're doing at the high school level. And that articulation, like I mentioned prior, starts at the elementary school. So having a tight-knit community of those principals working and articulating on a monthly basis really ensures that that comprehensive K-12 plan is in place, being bolstered and assessed and adjusted as we go along. So we're really excited to have Mr. Larson on board, most people are ready for the year to end after testing and go on summer vacation, but we're all chomping at the bit to just get to next year because we know that we're going to put our best foot forward.
Now, the process of getting these students ready for high school, many people think it happens during the school hours, but it doesn't end there. You have coordinated programs now after school that are really dedicated to assisting some of the scholars when it comes to math and literacy.
Yes, math and literacy is at the forefront of what we're doing. We've partnered with Middle School Matters Institute out of the University of Texas. We were afforded that grant, and we've been with that partner for about 4 years now. And what that means is in the summertime, myself, my lead teacher, and a couple other educators, we fly to Austin, Texas, at the University of Texas and meet with Middle School Matters Institute, which is comprised of researchers from across America. So University of Texas, University of Chicago, University of Utah, and Johns Hopkins sends researchers that are professors at those universities to work with middle school principals on developing plans and goals. So we have our school renewal plan, but we augment that with domains that we're looking at. And the 3 domains Hawk Gap is looking at is climate and culture, performance management, how to deal with data with senior leadership, as well as how to utilize data with our teachers, and then math. So when we fly out there, we write goals, and research-based strategies are going to be implemented. We come back after summertime, we do PD with our teachers, we implement those research-based strategies, and then those researchers from those universities fly out to us twice a year and see how we've implemented those strategies and then give us feedback. So this isn't a product, this isn't a company, these are educators talking to other educators. So the buy-in is tremendous. So we feel that if we're able to set that foundation and get these kids excited about learning, because we're giving them the best strategies to succeed, they'll be better, they're better prepared to handle that 9th grade rigor once they hit the 9th grade door. They need to be up and running, in motion with a lot of inertia. They cannot attend high school that first day flat-footed. So we want them to feel successful and confident. And with that, we can put our best foot forward as we approach that 9th grade.
Well, hopefully everyone out there appreciates the work that is happening here at OTGAP. It's great to talk to you, Travis.
Thank you.
Looking forward to seeing this finished
Yeah.
product.
It's a little messy right now, but we're looking forward to it filled with students and learning. So.
All right, and we'll be right back to close out the show after this timeout.
Some problems are tough. Reaching your customers shouldn't be. Blue Wave and Comcast have the creative edge to make you stand out from the crowd and connect with your customers. Whether you need a commercial for television, video for your website, or a custom-made website, we are the easy solution for every advertising problem.
And that's going to do it for this edition of CCSD Today. We hope you enjoyed watching and finding out about all the great things that are happening here on District 9, specifically at St. John's High School and Advanced Studies Magnet Hot Gap Middle. I'm your host, Andy Pruitt. I look forward to catching you next time on CCSD Today.